How much
How
trash
much
is in
trash is
space?
in space?
Space
Space
seems
seems
pretty empty.
pretty empty.
After all,
After
much
all,
of the
much
volume
of
of
the
the
volume
universe
of the
is a
universe
vacuum
is a
that will
vacuum
kill
that
you.
will kill you.
But
But
humanity hasn't taken
humanity
only
has taken
memories
only
and left only
memories and
footprints
left
on the
only
final frontier.
footprints on the
We've
final
left a lot of
frontier.
junk up
We have
there.
a lot of junk
In
there.
Earth's orbit itself, the
The
U.S.
U.S.
Space
space
Surveillance Network
surveillance
is
network
tracking
is
more than
tracking more than
14,000 pieces
14,000
of space
pieces
junk
of
that
space
are
junk
larger than
that are
10
larger than
centimeters,
10
4
centimeters,
inches
4
across,
inches across,
such as defunct
such as the
satellites
defunct
and rocket
satellites and
stages.
rocket stages.
It's estimated
It
that
is
there are
estimated
millions
that
of
there are
pieces
millions of
smaller than
pieces
that.
smaller than that.
Because of the high
Because of the
speeds at
high
which
speeds at
objects
which
move
can
in Earth's
move
orbit,
in Earth
even little
orbit, even
pieces of
little
space
pieces of
debris can
space
cause
debris can
damage.
cause damage.
Windows on the space
Windows on the
shuttle
space
often had
shuttle
to be
often had to
replaced
be replaced
because of damage from
collisions
collisions
with
with
a
debris
debris
smaller than a
smaller
millimeter.
than a millimeter.
This is why the
This is
shuttle
why
flew
the shuttle
around the
flew
world tail
around the
forward.
world tail forward.
Even
Even
satellites have been
satellites
destroyed
have
by
been
space
destroyed by
debris.
space debris.
In
In
2009, the defunct
2009,
Russian
the defunct
Cosmos
Russian Cosmos
2251
2251
military
military
communications satellite
communication
collided
satellite
with the
collided
functioning
with a
Motorola
functioning
Iridium
Motorola
33,
Iridium
destroying
33,
both satellites.
destroying both satellites.
What can be done
What
to
can be
clean up
done to clean
space?
up space?
Space
Space
agencies and
agencies and
companies that
companies
launch
that launch
satellites have been
satellites
taking
have
steps
been taking
such as
steps such
deorbiting
as
satellites when their
deorbiting
missions are
satellites when
finished.
the mission are finished.
Tests of
Tests of
technologies to
technology
actually
to
remove space
actually remove
debris
space
by
debris
capturing
by
pieces with a
capturing
net or
pieces with
harpoon
net
have been
or
made.
harpoon have been
Proposed
made.
constellations like
Proposed
SpaceX's
constellations like
Starlink,
SpaceX
4,409
Starlinks
satellites, and
and
Amazon.com's Project Kuiper,
Cooper
3,236 satellites,
3,236
which would
satellites,
greatly
which
increase
would
the number of
greatly
satellites
increase
in
the number
orbit,
of
have
satellites
had
in
to
orbit,
include
have
space
had to
debris
include
mitigation
space
plans
debris
when
mitigation
seeking
plans
approval from
when
regulatory
seeking
bodies.
approval from regulatory bodies.
How much trash is in
How
space?
much trash is in
Space
space?
seems
Space
pretty
seems
empty.
pretty
After
empty.
all,
After
much of
all,
the
much
volume
of the
of the
volume of the
universe is a
universe
vacuum
is a
that will
vacuum
kill
that
you.
will kill you.
But
But
humanity hasn't taken
humanity
only
has taken
memories
about
and left only
memories and left
footprints on
only
the final
footprints on the
frontier.
final
We've left
frontier.
a lot of
We've
junk
left
up
a
there.
lot of junk up
In
there.
Earth's orbit
In Earth
itself,
orbit
the
itself,
U.S.
the
Space
U.S. space
Surveillance Network is
surveillance
tracking
network
more
is
than
tracking more than
14,000 pieces
14,000
of space
pieces
junk
of
that are
space
larger
junk that
than
are
10
larger than 10
centimeters, 4
centimeters,
inches
4
across,
inches across,
such as
such
defunct
as
satellites
defunct
and rocket
satellites and the
stages.
rocket stage.
It's estimated that there are
It is
millions of
estimated that
pieces
there are
smaller
millions
than
of
that.
pieces smaller than that.
Because of the high
Because of
speeds
the
at
high
which
speeds
objects
at
move
which
in Earth's
objects
orbit,
move in Earth
even little
orbit,
pieces
even
of
little
space
pieces of
debris can
space
cause
debris
damage.
can cause
Windows
damage.
on the space
Windows
shuttle
on
often
space
had to be
shuttle often had
replaced
to be
because of
replaced
damage
because of
from
damage
collisions
from
with debris smaller
collision
than a
with debris
millimeter.
smaller than millimeter.
This is why the
This is
shuttle
why
flew
the shuttle
around the
flew
world
around the
tail
world
forward.
tail forward.
Even
Even
satellites have been
satellites have
destroyed
been
by space
destroyed by
debris.
space debris.
In
In
2009, the defunct
2009, the
Russian
defunct
Cosmos
Russian Cosmos
2251
2251
military
military
communications
communication
satellite
satellite
collided with the
collided with a
functioning
functioning
Motorola
Motorola
Iridium
Iridium
33,
33,
destroying both
destroying
satellites.
both satellites.
What can be
What
done
can
to
be
clean up
done to clean up
space?
space?
Space
Space
agencies and
agencies and
companies that
companies
launch
that launch
satellites have
satellites
been taking
have been
steps
taking
such
steps
as
such as
deorbiting satellites when
deorbiting
their missions are
satellites when
finished.
their missions are finished.
Tests of
Tests of
technologies to
technology
actually
to
remove
actually
space
remove
debris
space
by
debris
capturing pieces
by
with a net
capturing
or
pieces with
harpoon
a
have
net
been
or
made.
harpoon have been
Proposed
made.
constellations like
Proposed constellation
SpaceX's
like
Starlink,
SpaceX Starlink
4,409
9
satellites, and
satellites and
Amazon.com's
Amazon.com's
Project Kuiper,
Project Kuiper
3,236
3,236
satellites,
satellites,
which would greatly
which would
increase the
greatly
number of
increase the
satellites
number
in
of
orbit,
satellites in
have
orbit,
had to
have
include
had to
space
include
debris
space
mitigation
debris
plans when
mitigation
seeking
plans when
approval from regulatory
seeking approval
bodies.
from regulatory bodies.
Increase the number of satellites in orbit, have had to include space debris mitigation plans when seeking approval from regulatory bodies.
How much trash is in space? Proposed constellations like SpaceX Starlink 4,409 satellites and Amazon.com's Project Kuiper 3,236 satellites, which could greatly increase the number of satellites in orbit, have had to include space debris mitigation plans when seeking approval from regulatory bodies。句子的主语是 proposed constellation，like 后是列举的例子。which 定语从句修饰主语，谓语是 have had to include， 宾语是 space debris mitigation plans when 引导的是时间状语从句。regulatory body administration section 监管机构管理部门 administration regulatory body regulatory authority 管理机构 regulator 管理者 approval 批准赞成 approve 赞成批准 approve of somebody 赞成同意某人的观点 approve of somebody approve something do you approve of my idea Do you approve of my idea? The conference approved a proposal for a referendum. Referendum. Disapproval. The conference approved a proposal for referendum. Alleviate ease mitigate 减轻 mitigation 缓解减轻 in mitigation 为了减轻罪责开脱 in mitigation 为了减轻罪责开脱 in mitigation the defense lawyer said his client was seriously depressed at the time of assault. In mitigation, the defense lawyer said his client was seriously depressed at the time of assault. Mitigate 减轻 making things less unpleasant, serious or painful. Mitigate risk 减轻风险 mitigate the effort of an explosion 减轻爆炸的后果 alleviate 减轻 mitigate alleviate ease constellation 星座 constellation 一群一系列 a group of stars that forms a shape in the sky and has a name 12 zodiac 12 zodiac signs constellation 一群一系列 constellation of Hollywood talent constellation of Hollywood talent 一群好莱坞天才 a constellation of Hollywood talent proposed constellations like SpaceX Starlink 4,409 satellites and Amazon.com's Project Kuiper 3,236 satellites, which would greatly increase the number of satellites in orbit, had to include space debris mitigation plans when seeking approval from regulatory bodies. Mitigate mitigation, alleviate, ease, approve, disapproval, approve of somebody, approve something, referendum, regulator body, regulate, administrate authority, administrate section, regulatory authority, regulator. Harpooner 捕鲸人 harpoon 鱼叉 a weapon like a spear that you can use to catch whales harpoon 用鱼叉叉 harpoon a female minke whale Small satellite could add to problem of space debris since they are relatively easy to deorbit. Small satellites shouldn't add to the problem of space debris since they are relatively easy to deorbit.脱离轨道. What can be done to clean up space? Space agencies and companies that launch satellites have been taking steps such as deorbiting satellites when their missions were finished, tests of technologies to actually remove space debris by capturing pieces with a net or harpoon have been made. What can be done to clean up space? Space agencies and companies that launch satellites have been taking steps such as deorbiting satellites when their missions are finished. Tests of technologies to actually remove space debris by capturing pieces with a net or harpoon have been made. Even satellites have been destroyed by space debris In 2009, the defunct Russia Cosmos 2251 military communications satellite collided with a functioning Motorola Iridium 33, destroying both satellites. Even satellites have been destroyed by space debris. In 2009, the defunct Russia Cosmos 2251 military communication satellites collided with the functioning Motorola Iridium 33, destroying both satellites. Collision 碰撞 collide 碰撞动词 collide with 与什么什么碰撞 A car and van collided head-on the highway. Collide 强调来自不同方向的物体在运动过程中碰到一起的冲突。Crash 强调的是物体碰撞导致对该物体的破坏。Crash Smash 强调的是猛烈碰撞。Crash Crack I was terrified that the plane would crash. Mark smashed his fist down on the desk. Collision Collide Crash Smash Shuttle 来往于两地之间的航班火车 A plane, bus, or train that make regular short journeys between two places. Shuttle He has shuttled back and forth between the three capitals. The passenger was shuttled to the hotel by bus. The passenger was shuttled to the hotel by bus. Shuttle 通勤 Commute Shuttle He has shuttled back and forth between three capitals. The passenger was shuttled to the hotel by bus. Shuttle A plane, bus, or train that makes regular short journeys between two places. Shuttle Debris Cell debris 细胞碎片残骸 Debris flow Remains 残骸 Her remains are buried in Westminster debris 碎片残骸 remains. Because of the high speeds at which objects move in Earth orbits, even little pieces of space debris can cause damage. Windows on the space shuttle often have to be replaced because the damage from collision with debris smaller than a millimeter. This is why the shuttle flew around the world tail forward. In Earth orbit itself, the U.S. Space Surveillance Network is tracking more than 14,000 pieces of space junk that are larger than 10 centimeters 4 inches across, such as defunct satellites and rocket stages. 句中 in Earth orbit itself 是地点状语从句，主语是the U.S. Space Surveillance Network， 谓语是 is tracking， 宾语是 more than 14,000 pieces of space junk。 that 定语从句修饰太空垃圾 such as 后面跟着两个句子。defunct 去世的、死去的 defunct 非现存的、失灵的、不再使用的 no longer exist or has stopped functioning or operation. The now defunct nuclear reactor defunct 去世的、死去的 the will of defunct aunt 去世姑妈的遗愿 defunct tracked a track from the latest album a track from the latest album tire track back on track. She tried to get her life back on track after her divorce. He tried to get her life back on track after his divorce. Back at track 足迹痕迹追踪小路 track 足迹小路追踪 keep lose track of somebody 与某人失去保持联系 keep track of somebody back on track 追踪 track 小路足迹踪迹 monitor supervise surveil 监视 surveillance 监测监察 surveillance aircraft electronic surveillance equipment surveillance camera surveil monitor supervise surveillance supervise monitor orbit 环绕什么什么运行 orbit 轨道 orbit 势力范围 within orbit of somebody 在某人的势力范围之内 orbit surveillance aircraft electronic surveillance equipment surveillance camera surveillance closed circuit television surveil monitor supervise orbit. In Earth orbit itself, the U.S. Space Surveillance Network is tracking more than 4,000 pieces of space junk that are larger than 10 centimeters 4 inches across, such as defunct satellites and rocket stages. It's estimated that there are millions of pieces smaller than that. Junk 垃圾 junk food 垃圾食品 useless things or something of little value. There's nothing but junk or TV. Frontier 边境边界 frontier 前缘拓展意思尖端前沿尖端前沿 push back the frontiers 开拓领域 leading edge 前沿 leading edge Eraser tends to be at the leading edge of technological development. Vacuum 用吸尘器清扫 vacuum the room. Have you vacuumed the stairs? Vacuum 真空 vacuum cleaner 吸尘器 in a vacuum in a vacuum. Have you vacuumed the stairs? Volume 书卷册子音量数量体积 volume 体积 volume 事物的数量 seals volume 音量 volume turn the volume up 把音量调高 volume 书卷册子 a volume of kids poetry 一本记词的诗集 volume 音量体积数量册子卷 Space seems pretty empty.After all, much of the volume of the universe is a vacuum that will kill you. But humanity hasn't taken only memories and left only footprints on the final frontier. We've left a lot of junk up there. Trash 垃圾 junk scum 渣滓败类，近义词有 rubbish garbage refuse waste unwanted things of waste material. The yard are overgrown and cluttered with trash. Rubbish, garbage, refuse, waste, trash 劣质品 things of poor quality. What's the trash you're watching? What's the trash you are watching? Trash 窝囊废废物没有出息的人 Worthless people that you don't respect scum 渣滓败类 How much trash is in space? 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 Trash. Unwanted things of waste material. The yard are overgrown and cluttered with trash. Rubbish, garbage, refuse, waste, trash. Things of poor quality. What's the trash you are watching? Trash, 窝囊废 Rubbish, garbage, refuse, waste. Scum 渣滓败类 trash 窝囊废废物没有出息的人 volume 体积数量册子音量 vacuum 真空 vacuum cleaner in vacuum 用真空吸尘器清扫 vacuum the stairs frontier leading edge 前沿 push back the frontiers junk 垃圾 junk food orbit 围绕什么什么运行 orbit launch the first satellite to orbit the earth surveillance supervise monitor surveillance camera the electronic surveillance equipment surveillance aircraft survey monitor supervise track something down the police have failed to track down the attacker police have failed to track down the attacker the police have failed to track down the attacker track a muddy track一条泥泞的小路 track 一条泥泞的小路 track a muddy track 一条泥泞的小路追踪 track 痕迹足迹 track 一条泥 a muddy track keep lose track of somebody back on track 重回轨迹 tire track 还有一首歌的意思 a track from the latest album defunct 失效的去世的已故的死去的失灵的不再使用的 defunct satellite defunct aunt debris collide collision crash smash the fist crash aircraft smash the orbit 脱离轨道 happened 动词 constellation 一群 elevate mitigate elevate ease approve 批准赞成 referendum 公投 poll vote disapprove regulatory administration section regulatory authority
How much trash is in space? Space seems pretty empty. After all, much of the volume of the universe is a vacuum that will kill you. But humanity hasn't
humanity
taken
has
only
taken only
memories and
memories
left only
and left only
footprints on the final
footprints on the
frontier.
final frontier.
We've left a lot
We've
of junk
left a
up
lot
there.
of junk up there.
In Earth's
In Earth's
orbit itself, the U.S.
the
Space
US
Surveillance
Space
Network
Surveillance
is
Network
tracking more than
is tracking more than
14,000 pieces of
14,000
space
pieces
junk
of
that
space
are
junk
larger than
that
10
are larger than
centimeters,
10
4
centimeters,
inches
4
across,
inches across,
such as
such
defunct
as defunct
satellites and
satellites
rocket
and rocket
stages.
stages.
It's
It's
estimated that there are
estimated
millions
that
of
there are
pieces
millions of
smaller than
pieces
that.
smaller than that.
Because of the high
Because of
speeds
high
at which
speeds at
objects
which
move
objects
in
move
Earth's
in
orbit,
Earth
even
orbit,
little
even
pieces of
little
space
pieces of
debris can
space
cause
debris can
damage.
cause damage.
Windows on the space
Windows on
shuttle
space
often
shuttle
had to be
often had to be
replaced
replaced
because of
because of
damage from
damage from the
collisions with
collisions
debris
with
smaller than a
debris smaller
millimeter.
than a millimeter.
This is
This
why the
is why
shuttle
the
flew
shuttle
around the
flew
world
around the
tail
world tail
forward.
forward. Because of the high speeds.
Even
Even
satellites have been
satellites
destroyed
have
by
been
space
destroyed by
debris.
space debris.
In
In
2009, the
2009,
defunct
the
Russian
defunct
Cosmos
Russian Cosmos
2251 military
2251 military
communications
communication
satellite
satellite
collided with the
collided
functioning
the functioning
Motorola
Motorola
Iridium 33,
Iridium 33,
destroying both
destroying
satellites.
both satellites.
What can be
What
done
can
to
be
clean
done
up
to clean up
space?
space?
Space
Space
agencies and
agencies and
companies that
companies
launch
that launch
satellites have been
satellites
taking
have been
steps
taking
such as
steps such
deorbiting
as
satellites
deorbiting
when their
satellites
missions are
when their
finished.
missions are finished.
Tests of
Tests of
technologies to actually
technology to
remove space
actually
debris
remove
by
space
capturing
debris
pieces
by
with a net
capturing
or
pieces
harpoon
with a
have
net
been made.
or harpoon have been made.
Proposed
Proposed
constellations like
constellations like
SpaceX's
SpaceX
Starlink,
Starlink
4,409 satellites,
4,409
and
satellites, and
Amazon.com's Project
Amazon.com's
Kuiper,
Project Kuiper
3,236 satellites,
33
which would greatly
which
increase the
would
number of
greatly
satellites
increase
in orbit,
satellite in
have had
orbit,
to include
have had
space
to include
debris
space
mitigation
debris
plans
mitigation
when
plans
seeking
when
approval
seeking
from
approval
regulatory
from
bodies.
regulatory bodies.